Okay, hello. I'm recording my final on my phone, so hopefully this works out. So this is my Edsp 635 final. So for teacher-to-teacher relationship, co-teaching can be very complicated. There's lots of research out there, including what I did for my thesis for my master's of how teacher relationships can fall apart quickly when there's drama or not clear roles. Co-teaching has a lot of different elements to it. It needs to be done very carefully. In order for co-teachers to be successful, I believe they must be willing to collaborate. If you have teachers who are not willing to collaborate together and work together to help their students out, it will not be successful. They have to find common planning ground. So they have to figure out their learning styles and their educating styles. And they have to work together to blend those styles to find a method that works well for them. They also need common planning time just to work together. They need to have clear understanding of each other. There's a lot of different elements that go into the classroom. It kind of ties in with clear expectations, classroom management, just different roles, all different things. They need to be on the same page, or the teacher-teacher relationship in an inclusion classroom will not work out. The teacher-to-student relationship. So both teachers must have an effort to have positive relationships with all of their students. So I've seen this in some classrooms where some teachers feel like that they only teach the gen ed kids or they only teach the special ed kids. That's not true. When they're in an inclusion classroom, both teachers are responsible for all of the students. They need to have relationships with all the students in their classrooms. Students should work with both of their teachers. Again, sometimes you can see classrooms where you know exactly who is working with who at all times. Shouldn't be the case. Groups should be flexible and be able to change so that kids can work with both teachers and get the benefits of both of their styles and expertise. Both teachers must build a safe learning environment, and teachers must have rules in place to keep the classroom safe. Student-to-student relationships. So student to student, you have to have the educators in part set up these relationships. So in order for this to happen, you need to foster a collaborative environment where kids are encouraged to work with each other. They have times to work with group project, group assignments, even just learning from each other. It needs to be set up time for social interactions and friendships, structured social activities. Again, things where we can get the kids working with each other, talking with each other, and learning from each other. That ties in with peer mentoring and peer support. Teachers must build a sense of community amongst students. However they can do that, whether that's icebreakers, whether that's morning meeting activities, there's always a time, and the teachers must be responsible for building a community amongst students. Backwards. There you go. Classroom environment. So classroom environment needs to be supportive and safe. That goes for any teaching classroom. Any classroom that is not supportive and safe will not be a productive classroom. It needs to be physically accessible for all students. It needs to be a room that is accessible for all the students in the classroom. It needs to be flexible. It needs to be able to change at any point. It needs to be differentiated learning spaces, something in my co-teaching classroom that we have, where we have lots of different areas for the kids to go. We have 2 teacher stations to go to. We have individual stations for them to go to. And then you also must have an inclusive and positive class culture. Behavior management. So clear expectations and consistency is the key. Teachers have to line that out on the first day, and those co-teachers need to be on the same page. They need to model that appropriate behavior every day. So once you lay out your expectations and behavior management system, you need to model the appropriate behaviors and follow through with it every single day. Teachers should incorporate collaborative problem solving. Have the kids try and work through problems themselves when appropriate. Positive reinforcement is key for students. And be proactive. Don't let issues just linger. Be proactive and handle them before they blow up. Instruction should be differentiated to work with the strengths of the different students. There needs to be flexible groupings that are based on data, not based on the students and whether they have IEPs or anything like that. Instruction needs to be clear and structured. There needs to be collaboration in instruction. Teachers need to be willing to work with each other. There needs to be clear assessment and feedback provided to the students. The lesson plans, I've attached them. They're on the slides. In each of my lesson plans, we use different co-teaching methods such as stasis teaching, parallel teaching, team teaching, differentiation such as flexible groups, small group instruction, adjusting instruction to groups as needed, and visual and manipulatives. Differentiated research. I chose to research about ADHD. Here's some of my research and some recommendations. And my reflection on the class. Thank you for providing a great semester.